And we are live. Well, not really. We're just recording live because we can't record dead. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Is it a show or is it just a video, guys? What is this?
I don't know. We've done enough of these. You could call it a show. It's like,
It's a series.
it's a pilot season, right?
All right. It's a series. Is it a show? It's a regular show that's recorded, just like a regular, like Archie Bunker, right?
Yeah, regular shit show.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I mean, you should see us before this thing trying to come up with the fucking number of topics. Then we remembered and then forgot and remembered them again. It's like a
right. Yeah, we listed them. Then we forgot number one. Then we forgot number two. Yeah, it was very productive.
Yeah. 10 minutes of this shit. Pretty God damn it. Fucking poorly timed edible on my part. That's what it is.
Right? I've got no excuse.
Yeah, the rest of you guys just old.
That's right.
Exactly. A poorly timed edible. That's my excuse. Yeah. But we do have a topic, believe it or not. This is the worst start in terms of, they always say, have a strong hook on your videos. That's the worst hook ever. But, whatever. It's not a bad hook, though. Talking and laughing, if you think about it.
Well, yeah.
Most people need a little of that in their life.
Yeah. So I think we're building anticipation.
Is that what we're doing?
I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if it's true or not.
All right. So the topic of today, do not trust dungeon tubers. At least these two. Don't trust them at all. Why? You might be asking. Are we shitting on ourselves and our tiny sliver of income that we get from YouTube? Well, it's because I think it's a valid point. There's a lot of dungeon tubers out there, and we come up with 4 reasons why you may not want to listen to what they say. Paul, you want to go for the first one?
Yeah, the first one is they're more the people you should check out and just find out, if you're looking for advice on playing, running, D&D and those type of things, OSR and that type of stuff, you want to make sure that they're still maybe playing the game, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who are more historical. They're based on past, and once again, I'm not discounting the fact that they don't have, memories. They've played the game, but they're not currently playing it. So, maybe check out and see if they're, if they're currently playing, if they're staying, up to date on things, or if they're innovating in some way, or, and maybe they don't have to do any of that, but, I think it's a good, rule of thumb to look by.
Yeah. If all the references in the videos, like, well, back in 1984, and that's all they ever say. They never get beyond 1987 or so. There's something going on there. They haven't run a game since they were kids. And when I was a kid, I ran the games very differently than now as an adult, right? More, you are a different person. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tim?
I think a lot of those fifth edition guys, especially when it was very, when it was coming out and the popular and, and people were really hitting stride on YouTube with the 5th edition success. I think they got so caught up doing content that they weren't actually playing that much. Yeah. Do I know that? No, I don't know that. But do I know that? Yeah, in some ways, because I watched their video, even though I'm not going to say I wasn't a 5e player, because I was in 3 campaigns that were over a year long each. So I have significant experience with it, but I could tell by what they were saying, it was about the content, and that was based on what was trending, what was popular at that time. But then you could tell when they just made it, but hadn't played it, they didn't have any experience about what they were talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna shamelessly plug my own video here and let you ego stroke me again, Tim. But what you said the other night was a good compliment about the Strahd video. That I sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
I am not saying I stroked anything on you, Joe. So
so that was off camera. But on camera, you said some kind words. But
thank you, Paul. I didn't have mine ready.
Sooner or later.
But always ready with this group. This is always ready. Always. It's close by.
Right.
No, but you had said something like, "It sounds like I know what I was talking about because I knew the Forgotten Realms I played in there before," and it's like,
Right.
and you said nobody really is really doing that, and I figured that's
No.
sort of a dovetail with this. It's they don't take the time to do an hour and a half video, and they don't go in depth and dive into something. They do superficial shit.
Right. No, so Joe did this video about Strahd, and I think it was your fourth video in the series of it. You did
Second Strahd
three.
video, fifth overall because I did the Tiamat ones. I think 3
Well,
or 4
yeah, yeah,
Tiamat
yeah.
ones. Yeah,
So he went into detail about how to fix Strahd and how to make it more of a hex crawl. Um, and the
world
way
global,
Joe, what's that?
a global hex crawl, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way he did it and described it and everything, it was in depth. It gave good details, gave good examples. Joe knew what the fuck he was talking about. He wasn't talking in generalities. He was talking in specifics. You could tell he had a vast experience with the Forgotten Realms. That he didn't flip through Strahd. He read Strahd. You could tell, and it showed when he was going through each of the steps on how to improve it. And you could take that video and use what Joe said, take it to the table and have a fantastic game and improve Strahd. So what you set out to do, I was very successful.
It wasn't just the Strahd. It was also like, here's a framework that you could use.
Mhm.
Take away the Strahd parts and use the same framework and do it in your own game. And it's like, thank you for that. It was nice to hear you say it the other night. It was like a grind for me. I spent sucking 6.5 hours doing it, 2 hours recording it, then always half an hour to post and blah 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 to it. Right? It was like literally an all day Saturday thing, and I'm like, somebody get something out of this. And a lot of dungeon tubers, they polish it for appearance and special effects and zoom ins and zoom outs. And they'll sit
Right.
there and they'll spend 5 hours doing that bullshit and cutting out the ums and the ahs and this and that. And it's like they're not being genuine, they're not being themselves, they're not showing actual knowledge. They're just showing theoretical shit. It's like they hit before ChatGPT was out, they hit ChatGPT for fucking topics, right? And who hasn't done that? But it doesn't mean you let ChatGPT tell you exactly what to say about the fucking topic either. You got to come out with
Right.
yourself, what you know, so that
Yeah.
speak from experience, not just fucking theory, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And Tim
I think
made a good point. Just make a little extra point on
Sure.
that is Tim, because when you're listening to us talk about it, right? Talk about whether we're talking about DMing or talking about those things, experience matters, and also
Yeah.
staying up to date. I mean,
Yeah.
Tim talks about players. Players change. Players, people who sit around the table change, and so that's not to be dismissive of people who have gamed, but if you're looking for people who are currently playing and currently dealing with issues or obstacles or those things that are happening currently in the hobby, then yeah, you want to listen to some guys that are currently playing the game.
Yeah, and not just with their own 3 people. You know what I mean? Maybe with other people, different crews, different groups. Yeah, that helps.
Well, I have trouble with that because I don't go
That's the hard
outside
part.
too much. Yeah,
That is the
it's
hard part.
because
Yeah,
I kind of tend to stay at my table, and I know that's one of my shortcomings. Because as much as we may be saying stuff about like the dungeon tubers, and that we're not saying they're bad, we're not saying they're anything like that, because we
Yeah.
have our own faults. We all know that, and I know I've got way more than I need to talk about, and but it's good to just recognize, like, one of the things that I see on YouTube, I'm gonna use a fancy term here and everything, is like when people are kind of getting together. Do you remember that one guy? And I'm gonna name names because it was D&D Shorts. Remember him?
All
He was
right.
very popular. I think he only did
Yeah.
short clips, and I think most of his stuff was
Yeah.
based on like different builds of different characters and everything.
I only saw a few videos of his, to tell you the truth, and he was so fucking like he seemed coked up like a motherfucker. Like he was the most
Right.
positive son of a bitch in the world. I'm not saying he was on coke. I'm just saying the vibe, the energy. It was too much for
Right.
me. You know what I mean? And I'm
For
a high
you,
strung.
holy crap!
That's what I'm saying. This guy's like,
that's
and maybe it was
saying
the
a
fucking
lot.
accent too. Listening to fucking Braveheart, talking about D&D, kind of throw me like that too, But
He was
the whole
loud.
thing was jarring to me. So that's why I'm not saying he's on coke. I'm just saying the whole thing was like,
well,
like
he did the shorts too, so he had to exuberate a lot of energy really fast because
short amount of time
because of the
that's
medium
true.
and stuff
That is
like
true. That's his.
But
yeah.
every time I would watch, because I try to give everybody like a chance and try to watch him more than a few times and whatnot. But every time I would watch him do a build on something, I don't feel like he's just creating content. He's not actually. That's what he just did. I don't think he came up or he saw it somewhere else, and it there wasn't a lot of depth to it. And again, it was a short. I get that. And he found a shtick, and who am I to say? Because that guy had like hundreds of thousands, I think, viewers. I mean, he was killing it. He was doing a great job with it. But consensus of something doesn't make it a fact.
Yeah, just because 3 YouTubers said it doesn't mean it's fucking true. I mean, look, we got 3 people here saying the same thing. Doesn't mean we know what the fuck we're talking about. But listen to us, listen to the arguments, see if you think we're right. Test the theory against what you see.
This is just true for our tables. It's not going to be for your tables. It could be completely different. But one of my favorite things to do is just to glance behind the DM screen. Like I'm sitting there. Or like when Joe DMs or Paul DMs, I like to watch and learn from everybody I do it, even with the YouTubers. But to circle back to what we're talking about, if you're not playing, then what you're saying isn't based on anything. Yeah. It's based on a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it's not real. It's not a.
It's not yours. It's not genuine. It's not you.
Right. It's just sort of content that you made for a video.
And
I don't
what
know.
You said before, Tim, mattered too. I think you just to circle back. Another thing you mentioned in that talking about this D&D Shorts guy is people never show their mistakes, right? We all fuck up all the time. It's a whole we're saying that's a whole another video we'll do at some point, maybe next time around, but. Yeah, they don't show how they fuck up. If they do run games, it's always like, here's what I did. Every once in a while, you get a little bit of contrition video, but it's a ha-ha thing, and it's not a humble thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like laying your dirty underwear out there for the world to smell. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's more of a humble brag or something funny or just to get a chuckle or something to get the clicks, basically. I got one coming out tomorrow. It's tomorrow's video I'm doing with Joe and Eric, and it's about how I fucked up in your game the other night, Tim. It's know your fucking character sheet is the topic, and I'm walking around with a fucking magic item that I, didn't know the fucking purpose of it, and I screwed up. It was a bad.
Well, you remembered it just at the right time, though. That's for sure.
Time. Well, I knew that function, but I forgot the other functions of it. So I was like, that's a fucking neat card move.
Right, and that covers one of our points here. Is that when you're watching Dungeon Tubers, right? Do they make mistakes? Do they only talk about the successes, that every game is epic, which is no different, by the way, than creating that false illusion of every game is going to be awesome. And I never have any issues or any problems.
It's a form of the Matt Mercer effect. Basically, it's a Dungeon Tuber effect. Ooh, I've coined a thing. The Dungeon Tuber effect.
There you go. That's right. Because so-and-so said it.
They're going to be awesome.
Right. Everything they
said is going to be worth anything.
That is so. I'm going to write this shit down. So I don't forget it read. But that's going to be the title of this fucking video: the Dungeon Tuber effect.
There we go.
All right.
But that's true. And I don't mind. I like Tim's talking about mine. I make DM mistakes and I make player mistakes. In Shadow Dark, everybody makes a mistake is they forget about their luck token. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? I forget about mine all the time. And had I used my luck token at a particular point, it would have maybe saved me. Probably not. But probably not. Let's just face it. Even if I use my luck token, I'm dead. It's a death token. Let's be honest. It's not a luck token. It's just a second chance to die token is what that is. And
in Tim's game.
In Tim's game for sure.
You're going to need the fucking thing.
Right, but making mistakes and saying, "Hey, here's how I screwed this game up." There's a lot of people who watch this now who are brand new DMs who think
Yeah.
that
Right.
guys who've been running games for 20 years or 30 years, whatever, never make mistakes. And then the pressure on themselves, they put that pressure on themselves. Well, I got to run it like so and so. This guy never makes mistakes. So clearly, if I'm doing this, I'm doing something wrong, which is not true at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that goes back to what it sort of segues to another thing is that they want everything to look great, like the variation of Matt Mercer effect. Like this is how to have the perfect game, as if they never have a shit game, right? But if they're put out videos that also feed that vibe when they say things like 5 easy ways to be the greatest DM in the universe, right? And that's the same thing. It sort of segues into that because nothing's easy about DMing. It gets
No,
harder and harder. The
no,
longer I
Right.
do it, it gets harder and harder. And not because I'm getting
Yeah.
worse or getting senile. It's just because it's the more I know, the more I understand, the more I realize, wow, that means I should do this and that too, and consider this and that and the other thing. When I was a kid, I had three things I needed to think about. Now I got 53 things to
Right.
think about.
Right. Exactly.
It's a whole different
right.
thing because your brain's more developed. You have more experiences. You want to run a better game. You've grown and evolved. So yeah, nothing's fucking easy.
No, no, and that's load management, right? I mean, the load management gets a little bit harder, I think. At least I'll speak for me. Gets a little bit more difficult. And that's
Oh
why I
yeah.
choose easier systems, right? To
Yeah,
maybe play because I don't have
Right.
to. I don't have to memorize everything. I don't have to know everything. I don't have to
pussy. Big
manage
pussy.
everything as to how it goes. And so, listen, it's not easy, but it's certainly worthwhile to be a dungeon master. So if you're considering being one, just because it's not easy doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You should go ahead and
But
try it
Absolutely.
anyway.
but don't be a pussy like Paul. Run a rules heavy game. Don't run these rules light games. All right, just man up.
I
Turn
love
on
them.
some more
I
brain
love rules
cells.
light.
No. Go rules heavy. Go Hyperborea. Go Joe Blocks Adventures Dark and Deep. Yeah, go second edition. I'm not getting endorsements here and shit. I'm just saying.
Hey,
Don't puss
There
out.
you go.
I'm for the easy ones too, Paul. Yeah, like my
Yeah.
OSC and Shadow Dart.
2-on-1. 2-on-1
Yeah.
here. I'm losing. I'm
Yeah.
losing that fight.
Well, the thing is I don't think you make your game any more complex with more rules. You make your game complex through the play with the world that you build.
And you could make more rules too that come like him. You fuck with the rules. I mean, you do twiddle. You do.
Absolutely, but I don't want it. They're not rules. They're just rulings at the
And
time.
which, as Alexander McCree, the best thing he's ever said. That guy who created this fucking
Yeah.
back here, Venture Conquer King.
Venture Conquer King. Yeah.
Yeah. He says is the best thing he's ever said was, there it is, one of the best
There you
DM
go.
books in the world, right there. Top 3 DM books you should ever get. That, Gary's DMG, and maybe one other one. I'll tell you what later. But yeah. So anyway, the best thing he ever said though, Alexander McCree, was every
Mhm.
rules light game is just a game that has not been played yet. Because as soon as you start playing, you start adding things to it, and eventually over time, every rules light game is going to have 19 pages of house rules, 3-point font. It's just
I
that's
don't
what
agree with that at all.
that's what's going to happen. Keep
No.
going.
I think
No,
Joe's talking from personal experience because he
I
is
know.
yeah, I was gonna say no. I don't buy that at all. I think that's a bullshit statement. Actually, rules light is rules light. Yeah, we had our own stuff on there, but for example, what I like to do with my clerics, how everybody has the turn undead type of thing. Well, in my OSE games, they're not I call them divine acts. So that gives the cleric a little bit more
coolness.
Yeah, it gives them flexibility. So so you're doing divine acts through your aspect of your god. So you wouldn't be able to bring down blades of thunder if you're worshiping healing goddess, but if you're trying to maybe do something a little bit extra with a healing spell or doing something like that, and you want to use a divine act, I'm going to give you a little boost for that. That's not a ruling though. That's just flavor to the game that I like to add to my world. That because he's saying that a rules light system is a game that hasn't been played yet. I just think I think sometimes when you're forcing people to play a certain way when you have so
Yeah.
many rules because you've accounted for, it's like, okay, I'm going to go do this. Okay, I got to go to page 32, column B, section 4.
Yeah.
All right, what bonuses do I have? But if I just have rules light, I can say, yeah, that's about a +1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
you,
Yeah.
yeah.
now we're
Yeah,
kind
I get
of
it.
now we're tailing off of
Well,
A
dungeon
whole
tubers
yeah.
different,
again
yeah, a
now.
whole different topic. But
Yeah,
I do
that's a
like
whole
the
different
rules.
thing.
I like the rules heavy games or any rules game that also incorporates a setting like Hyperborea does. So like there's an implied setting there.
I do like
You
that. Yeah, I
know?
do like when like Rob's Majestic
Yes.
Wilderlands, the rule
Yes.
set is fit for the setting. That
A
I
setting.
absolutely prefer. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, and
It's
that's going to bring the complications in, Tim, because
yep,
all of Rob's setting rules get applied to his base swords and wizardry core rules, which now become much bigger than it was. That's what
exactly.
I'm
Yep.
saying. You're going to play it. As you play it in the world, you're going to grow. You just proved my point. I win. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I don't run other people's worlds though.
No, I know you run your own, but eventually, if
Yeah.
you did publish your rule set, it would start basic, and then you'd have a lot more than OSE.
That's why I probably never will or ever
Yeah,
publish
I
it
know.
because it's too much loose. You make rulings, it's like, this is
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
get. Just run with it. But if you have a
Yeah.
new DM, they'll be like, what? But anyways,
Yeah.
But I
now
mean, it's a good
we're off.
segue anyway to back to a different portion of this topic. Is like we were talking about, easy rule sets, less knowledge. You could focus on the game itself. And Paul, you were saying, and that goes to a lot of these dungeon tubers. They focus on DM knowledge equals a good DM, right? Because you could cite, chapter and verse of the DMG 5th edition or 5.5 or whatever. That means, oh, I'm a great DM now. The great DM is a skill. It's not knowledge based. Knowledge is the foundation, yes, but you also need to know when the fuck to throw that knowledge away and just go by gut instinct, intuition, whatever you want to call it,
Absolutely.
and do a randomness and roll the dice and see what the fuck happens. That's another thing
Yeah.
they do wrong.
Yeah. If the rule doesn't make sense if you're playing, if you want to be rules as written, great. I don't know. It probably makes for a good game. I don't think I've ever run anything rules as written. I think it's always been
No.
rulings, not rules. So, if you want to run that game, that's great. But your knowledge of the game, you can know all the rules and still, like you said, not have the skill to execute on the game.
Yeah.
Some of the dungeon tubers that I do like to watch are those ones who are like exploring games. Like they admit that they're not knowledgeable of it, and you
Yeah.
kind of go on a journey with them.
Yep.
Like Paul was doing about a couple months ago. He was doing solo dark. He was trying solo adventuring with solo dark. He didn't know what the hell was going on. It showed.
Nope.
It was great. It was fun to
Yep.
watch him try to learn and
Right.
all the because the things that he had to do, and then he learned from it. So it was a fun experience to watch somebody go through their process on how to adapt and learn. And I learn more from that kind of thing than I do
Yeah.
than somebody just kind of sort of lecturing maybe a rule or something along those things. But yeah, I thought when you're doing it kind of that approach, I guess those are the ones I do prefer.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes
more
sense.
fun.
Any new rule set is there's a level of humility involved, right? Because
Yeah.
DM skill comes with DM practice and time, and DM knowledge. You could just memorize a book if you're good at memorizing shit. That's all.
Right.
That's not skill. And so
Absolutely.
you got to ask for like not so much that how much time you've been playing matters as much, but it has a fucking effect. You could be 40 years playing to still be a piece of shit DM, but
I was just going
generally
to say
speaking,
that. Yep.
generally speaking, you put in the time. And if you still got groups playing with you, then you must be doing something right. They keep
Right.
showing up,
Or you're
That's the
holding
thing.
people hostage somehow.
Well, either that, one or the other.
know.
Dungeons. What kind of dungeon are we talking about? Yeah, that's the whole thing.
People are tied
Yeah,
to
and
the chair.
I've seen that many times where I get into a game, especially I see this at conventions, unfortunately, a lot. That's probably why I don't go too much sometimes, is I get in there and there's maybe a DM who's been there, years of experience. And then you play in a game and they don't even really know the rule system, or they're just not good at telling you what's going on. They're just not very skilled at running a game. And then in a con game, you kind of have to be on the top of your game because you got, strangers that you're dealing with, and you got time, pretty much a set time period. So you almost have to be on the top of your game with that. But probably my favorite game I played at a convention was one of the first conventions I went to. And I think she was 8 years old. This little girl ran a D&D game.
Really?
Didn't know the rules that well. I had such a fun time in her game.
That's fun, man.
It was so fun. And I mean, it was just exactly what you wanted from a game. She was just a sweet. I mean, of course, you're automatically gonna just have a favorable effect because of the DM, but she did a great job. We had to go save a puppy from a cave. That was our quest.
Of course it was. Of course.
Yeah, and then basically what we had to do when we went into the quest, like this, I think, and we're talking probably 20 years ago now, guys. I think we had to go in there, and there was no fighting going on. We did have to fight some spiders and everything like that to get into it because there was a spider web. But basically, it was like a lonely troll or something like that stole the dog. He just wanted a friend or whatever. And what we had to do is go in there and be nice to the troll and talk to him, and then promise we would be back and have tea with them or something, bring them, because I remember the other guys were all ready to fight, and I'm like, that's not what this because I bred the girl. This girl does not, she wants to. I said, well, I offer the troll some food, and all of a sudden she was just so happy that I got what she wanted to happen. She's just squealed, I think. She went, did the little hop and clap thing. And it was just such a genuine, innocent, fun thing. Did I care about the rules? No. I don't know if she ever DM'd before, but I will always remember it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I'll always remember that one. That was a blast. I remember when I signed up for it, Rob was there and was like, why'd you sign up for that? It's like I was like,
I can see Rob arguing the fuck out of the rules with that girl. Right? He goes to Rob, reach around, pulls out a book.
Yes. It's funny because it's true.
Eventually, he would just take over the game, shove her to the side until it starts.
The troll eats the puppy. It's over.
Right.
The troll eats the puppy, and then we're done.
The puppy throws it like a missile weapon, and
God! Jesus Christ!
But it was just so funny because it's like, when's the last time you were DM'd by a kid, Rob? I said, because I told him, I said, I will learn more from this 8-year-old probably today than I will from all these old grognards for the next couple of years. And just to recap, just see that innocence and that. I mean, I know we're going off topic again, but that experience is what I like, and just that excitement that the other dungeon too. But I don't feel that when they're just kind of creating content. There's no excitement there.
None.
There's no. I guess it's just for me. Maybe for some other folks, they get inspiration, and they do get great ideas from these guys. And I probably do too, but I definitely don't get excited by what they're producing. Will I watch them for content sometimes? Absolutely. Like sometimes if I want to Google like how to create an adventure. Do I know how to create an adventure? Absolutely. But I like to see how 20 other people do it too.
Yep.
So I might just get a playlist going and watch 20 dungeon tubers make this and everything. And what's really good there is when I do that, I can really tell who I want to listen to again and who I don't.
I mean, I dropped last 2 weeks on my Patreon, which you two were banned from, because I'm putting videos about the game I'm going to run for you guys, right? So 2 weeks in a row, I got 2 videos up there. I'm creating the world. I'm filling in the blanks.
Not you, Joe. I'm not going to cheat.
Yeah. For the XP point penalty. But and I'm just anyway, I did the Strahd thing. I'm just drilling down until it's ready, right? So thinking, Paul, just after Labor Day, after we'll get this thing rolling. And so I got these 2 videos there, and it shows that I know what I'm doing, and it's applied to a real thing. It's not theoretical.
Right.
Right. That's the
Yep.
difference. You know, if you're making something for something you're running, or you're talking about something happened in a game you just played in or ran, it's like I like the Fireball the Gazebo guys because they always start their videos with, you know, here's what happened last night's game or last week's game or something like
Right.
that. I
Yeah.
kind of like that
They're
part,
active.
yeah, they're doing it and they know what they're talking about, and it shows in the quality of their videos. You know, not everybody's like that. Like Professor Dungeon Master, he runs games. I know he runs games, right?
Right.
And it shows in the quality of his videos. Some of these other fucks, I don't think so. You know, I don't
Right.
think so. So, yeah. So what do we have? In summary, they don't show their mistakes. They don't show how they fucked up, right? They confuse DM knowledge with DM skill, and knowledge is not everything at all. Everything they make everything
No.
easy. 5 easy ways to blah 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 your players, right? And they don't play the fucking game. That's, you know, they're not playing the games, they're not running the games. And so it shows in the quality of the video. So yes, don't touch them either. Don't trust those dungeon tubers. You know,
Right.
us,
Not even us.
not even us.
Not even
And
us.
honestly, think about what we said. If you like it, subscribe. Subscribe to
Subscribe, yep.
Flynn, subscribe to mine, subscribe to Tim's, subscribe to the channels. Click on that button down below, hit the like button, share it around, and
Comment.
yes,
We're gonna. I think we should do like a comment show here in the next week or two too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
that's
some
a
of
good
them
idea.
and just collect
Yeah,
them
the
up.
crazy
and-
ones. There's a couple
Yeah,
of lunatics.
absolutely. Have some fun.
There's
Yeah.
a few lunatics in the comments.
There are, but you know what? They create good content.
They do. It's funny
Right.
deciphering what the hell they're talking about, but yeah, it's
Sometimes, yeah.
sometimes I don't know what the fuck was that, an insult or was he complimenting me? I can't quite tell. There was one
Yeah.
today I couldn't fucking figure it out. You know, the one you were talking about earlier. Tim.
I know.
Is that good or is this bad? So
It was an essay.
Well, there's
It
no
wasn't a
emojis.
comment. It was an essay. Ugh.
It was
There's
a
no
little bit
emojis with
William.
it, though.
It was William Burroughs kind of
emojis.
style. Like he wrote something, then he scissored the motherfucker up and pasted it together and posted it. That's the William S. Burroughs kind of thing there, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, guys, on that note, thanks for
I
watching.
know.
We are
watching.
done.
Thanks, guys.
31 minutes.
Come back
Not bad.
again.
Not bad. Come back again. We're going to record a video in 5 minutes as soon as I pee. So have a good day, guys. Check it out.
That goes without
Thursday.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know. All right,
Night,
later.
everybody.
All right.